Let's play Dune Imperium on Tabletop Simulator. This is the third video of this series, covering turns 7 through the end of the game. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, you can find a playlist of the series in the description. The first player token passes on to the Baron. The conflict card for the round is Battle for Imperial Basin. It will award the winner 2 victory points and control of the Harvester spot. The Baron sends his first agent to Carthage. The green player takes 1 Solari since he controls the location. The Baron deploys 1 troop from supply into the conflict zone and adds 2 more from his garrison. The Duke moves to Arakeen. I control this location, so I take 1 Solari. The Duke deploys 1 troop from supply into the conflict. Then he consumes 1 spice to use his signet ring power, Prudent Diplomacy. He uses it to gain 1 influence with the Order and a victory point as a result. The Duke is now way ahead with a total of 9 victory points and is 1 point shy of ending the game. I draw my hand for the round. I forgot to add the bonus spice on the Harvester locations that were not visited last turn, so I do it now. I use the Freemen camp to send my agent to the Great Flat. I pay 2 water to do this. Then I harvest 4 spice. My character's addiction forces me to consume 1 to draw a card. Finally, using the Freemen Camp card's agent ability, I use 2 spice to deploy 3 troops from my supply to the conflict and 2 more from my garrison. The Baron wants to harvest spice. He moves his agent to the Imperial Basin. He collects 2 spice. Since this is a combat zone, he deploys 2 more troops from his garrison. The Duke sends his second agent to visit the Order and gain 1 more influence point with them. I use diplomacy to visit the Hardy Warriors location. I pay 1 water token to visit the spot. I deploy 2 troops from supply into the conflict. Then I decide to deploy my last 2 troops from my garrison as well. I also max out the Freemen influence track. The Baron moves to conspire. He adds 2 troops to his garrison and increases his influence with the Emperor. The Duke visits the Oratory Hall with his agent. This gains him 1 troop to his garrison. For my last turn, I will make use of the money I have accumulated and prepare for next round. I visit the Rally Troops location. I pay 4 Solari. Then, I add 3 troops to my garrison, since that is all I have left in my supply. I reveal my hand. I do not see anything I would like to buy from the offer, so I decide not to purchase this turn. I have a strength of 18. The Baron has a strength of 10 and the Duke of 2. The Baron adds 5 for a total of 15. The Duke adds 4 for a total of 6. I win the conflict, taking control of the basin and 2 victory point. The Baron gets 5 spice for second place. He trades in 7 to gain a victory point. Now the Baron and I are tied for second, but still way behind the Duke. I clean up to prepare for the 8th round. I roll the dice to cycle the Imperium row. Only the 4th card is replaced. The conflict card for the round is Battle for Carthage. This is another 2 victory point card. The first player token passes on to the Duke. The Duke uses his first agent to visit the Oratory Hall. He adds 1 troop to his garrison. I draw my hand for the round. I use the Signet Ring card to visit Sietch Tabor. I gain 1 water from the location and 1 from my ring's ability. I add 1 troop to the conflict from supply and 2 more from my garrison. The Baron visits the Stillsuit's spot and deploys 2 troops from his garrison to enter the conflict. He also gains 1 influence with the Freymen. The Duke sends his agent to the Fold Space spot to strengthen his alliance with the Guild. I use diplomacy to visit the Hardy Warriors location. I pay 1 water and deploy 2 troops from my supply to the conflict. I also deploy my last garrison troop. The Baron sends his second agent to the Wealth spot to max out his influence with the Emperor. The Duke goes to Carthage. He gains a Solari for his control of the city. Then he deploys 1 troops from supply to the conflict and 2 from his garrison. I send my last agent to Arakeen using reconnaissance. I control the city, so I get a Solari. I deploy 1 troop from supply to the conflict. Now I have accumulated 7 troops and have a good chance of taking first place in the conflict. I also get to draw a card from my deck. The Baron moves to harvest the Haga Basin, collecting 3 spice. Since this is a combat site, he sends 2 more troops to the conflict. This is good for me. I need the Duke to come in last in order to have a chance to win the game. I reveal my hand. Thufir awards me an intrigue card again. I draw Master Tactician, which will be very useful. I have a total of 4 persuasion. I decide not to purchase a card this turn. I roll to churn the Imperium deck. The 2nd and 3rd card are replaced. I have a total strength of 14, but by mistake mark it as 12. The Baron has a strength of 8 and the Duke of 6. I decide to use my intrigue card to increase my strength by 3. The Duke draws first and gets only 1 added for a total of 7 strength. This is great as he already is last. The Baron adds 2 for a total of 10. The Duke had control of Carthage, so he should have added 1 free troop to the conflict. This would have added 2 more to the Duke's strength, but it wouldn't have changed the result. I win first place, giving me control of Carthage. But most importantly, I get 2 victory points to tie the Duke at 9 points. For taking second place, the Baron gets 1 intrigue card. He also gets 3 spice. He trades in 7 to gain a victory point and place him at 8 points. Now we are all neck and neck heading into the 9th round. I clean up to set up for the next round. The 9th conflict card is Battle for Arakeen. I will be the first player for the round. I draw my 5 cards. I send my agent to the Imperial Basin using the Fremen camp. I collect 2 spice plus 1 more for control of the basin. Countess Ariana's spice addiction forces me to immediately consume 1 spice to draw a card. The Freemen camp allows me to pay 2 spice to deploy 3 troops to the conflict from supply. The Baron visits the Highliner spot to deploy 3 troops to the conflict from supply and 1 from his garrison. He also gains 1 influence with the guild. The Duke wants to rally troops. He adds 4 troops to his garrison. I use my Smuggler's Thopter and the Dispatch and Envoy Intrigue card to visit the Hardy Warrior's spot again. I pay 1 water to deploy 2 more troops to the conflict. Since I have 2 influence with the guild, I am also allowed to draw 2 cards. The Baron sends his second agent to Carthage. He deploys 1 troop to the conflict. I control the city, so I gain a Solari. The Duke harvests the Great Flat, collecting 4 spice. Then he deploys 2 troops from his garrison. I decide to visit Arakeen with my last agent. I use my Arrakis liaison to move there. I add 1 more troop to the conflict. I gain 1 Solari since I control the city, and then draw a card. The Baron visits the Bene Gesserit, gaining 1 influence with them. The Duke also visits the Order, gaining an influence with them and forming an alliance. This gives him a victory point. This will be the last round of the game since a player has reached the 10-point threshold. I reveal my hand. I have 7 persuasion. I purchased the Lady Jessica card. This card gives me an influence point with any faction. I decide to increase my influence with the Order. I have a total strength of 12 plus 1 for my revealed sword. The Baron has a strength of 10 and the Duke of 4. The Baron reveals a card first. He adds 0 to his strength. The Duke adds 1 for a total of 5. Again, I forgot to add 1 free troop to the conflict since I control Arakeen, the site of the battle. This adds 2 to my strength. I win first place, awarding me 2 points. The Baron is in second place. He receives an intrigue card and 3 Solari. He trades in 7 Solari and 3 intrigue cards for 2 victory points. He is now at 10 points. This is the end of the game. I barely managed to win with 11 points, while my opponents both tied for second with 10 points. I really got lucky at the end as my opponents drew poorly to add to their strength. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Leave a comment if you would like to share your thoughts on this session or the game in general. Special thanks to Elevenlabs for providing this wonderful AI-generated narration voice. Check the link in the description for more information on their helpful tools.